Hello everyone, welcome. This is Danny. Lexus IS is categorized as an entry-level luxury sports sedan. I've been driving my Lexus IS350 all-wheel drive for more than a year now, and I'd like to summarize some of my loves and hates regarding to its luxury and sportiness. This is my second video of my love-hate relationship with my Lexus, where I will be demonstrating some interesting features of how the car drives. If you haven't seen the first video where I showed a bunch of awesome and annoying features with respect to its luxury, click the link on the screen or in the description below. Many of the features I will be showing today might be very subjective, and they are based on comparing to my previous car, the 2008 BMW 335. So without further ado, let's start the engine up and take a drive. As you just heard, the Lexus exhaust is pretty quiet. Now the left exhaust on the BMW has a butterfly valve that opens and closes. So at lower RPM, it remains closed to give your cabin a lower noise level. Now there's a trick to it. Inside the trunk, there's a door you can open on the BMW that you can unplug a connection to make the exhaust, the butterfly valve, always open. So on a lower RPM, you hear a higher noise level, and at lower gear, you hear the popping sound. So for a stock exhaust, it's pretty good, and I liked it. The gas pedal on the Lexus IS does not feature a kickdown mode. On my old BMW, when you push the gas pedal all the way, at the bottom of the travel, there is a click, which brings the maximum power of your car, no matter what mode you're in. For example, if I'm driving on a highway and I want to pass someone, but I'm in my manual mode on the top gear, if I push the gas all the way on the Lexus, it does nothing. It stays in the 6th gear, the top gear, and it just don't bring you any acceleration. But if I'm driving the BMW, when I'm in the kickdown mode, even though I'm in the manual, it'll drop down to like the 3rd gear to give you the maximum power available for you to pass a car or avoid any dangerous situation. Another thing the BMW offers, but not the Lexus IS, is the learning algorithm of the gas pedal. The BMW pedal learns how you drive it. If you drive aggressively, it'll be more sensitive. If you drive very softly, it'll be very comfortable. And one of my coworkers having the same car, and his wife is always complaining that why is your car so jerky all the time? And that's because himself drives always aggressively and his wife drives normally. So the more he drives, the more the gas pedal adapts to his behavior. One of the things I appreciated a lot after moving down to California was the mountain roads. Now, on any day or the weekend, I can just drive my car to the mountains and enjoy the winding roads. Especially with my Lexus IS. This car as a whole, compared to my old 2008 BMW, is very, very rigid. It's very comfortable in daily driving, and also it brings me a lot of fun on a weekend mountain road trip. The Lexus package is very interesting. For example, I mentioned in the last video, when you go for F-Sport instead of the luxury package, you lose your memory seat, you lose your parking sensor, and also you lose your fog lights. Same thing when you choose all-wheel drive instead of the rear-wheel drive. Your transmission goes down from 8-speed to 6-speed, and also you lose the variable steering. I think the variable steering is a good feature because at high speed, the number of turns from lock to lock is more than the low speed. This brings you more stability at high speed and easier maneuverability at low speed. When I turn the stability control off in manual mode in my BMW, It still auto upshift at redline to protect the engine, but in the Lexus, it doesn't, as I shall demonstrate. The sound you just heard was the intake sound, not the exhaust. Lexus, unlike other competitors, does not use speakers to produce the sound to your cabin. Instead, it uses a filter at the intake channel. This way, the sound is real, and I like it. I think Lexus is still trying to be fuel efficient. If you put it into the manual mode or sports mode, it does not downshift. On the BMW, when I put it into the sports mode, it'll downshift one gear to be ready for my acceleration. Speaking of shifting, in the Lexus, you push forward to shift up, and you pull back to shift down. This is reverse compared to the BMW. In the BMW, you pull back to shift up, and you push forward to shift down. Both BMW and Lexus having the manual mode by leaning the shift lever to the left towards the driver. Whereas the Audi or Volkswagen, they push outward towards the passenger. Lexus does feature a pre-collision system. That is, when you're getting too close to the car in the front, it'll warn you by beeping at you. Now this feature is good because it does not intrude my driving. For example, if I want to pass the car in the front by getting closer to it, my Lexus does not automatically brake for me, which is good because that's something I don't want it to do. This button right here turns off the traction control by pushing it once, as you can see on the gauge here. However, by holding it down, it'll turn off the pre-collision system as well as the stability control. This way I can have a little fun with my car. However, I cannot turn it off while I'm driving. I can only turn it off while I'm stationary. Unlike the BMW, I can turn it off whenever I want to. For example, if I see a curvy road where I want to drift legally, I can do so by not stopping the car. One thing that's pretty annoying and takes the fun out of my driving is the sequential downshift. Now when I'm on the highway, I'm on the top gear, the 6th gear. I want to downshift to 3rd to pass someone. I go boom, boom, boom. What I wanted to do is to drop down to 3rd gear directly. But what it does is it sequentially shift down to 5th, 4th, and then 3rd. And I'm just sitting here and waiting for it to downshift. But on the BMW, when I downshift 3 times, it went directly from the 6th gear to the 3rd gear. So that sums up the driving aspect of my Lexus IS350. If you like what you saw, please leave me a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more of the future videos, and I'll see you soon.